Most people live their whole life without really knowing what emotions drive them. They do not understand what puts them to work, what puts them into action. They do not understand what emotion they are driven by. You have to realize that once you understand what emotion drives you the most, you can generate circumstances and scenarios where you can have that emotion. It's much easier to generate an emotion rather than to fight it. You have to realize that it's much simpler to give yourself that emotion in order to achieve things than it is to actually find other emotions that really drive you, that really put you into motion, that put you to work. You have to understand that before you change the emotion that is your fuel, you have to use it to get more. You have to use it to actually understand why you are driven by that emotion. Whether it's anger or frustration or happiness or joy or whatever it is, you have to find it. Most people do not have the emotional intelligence to actually look at what emotions drive them the most. It's usually one or two. Most people are driven by one emotion. You can describe them by just that one emotion. And for most people, it is absolutely invisible that they do so. It is absolutely invisible that they are driven by that emotion for themselves. For others, it's almost always obvious, but you have to realize that most people, including you and me, are driven by one singular emotion. And if you find it, you will change your whole life. You will have a better experience of life. And not only that, but you will be able to achieve more because you will understand how to change your whole environment, how to change your whole life and scenarios to get that emotion in order to put yourself to work. Procrastination becomes irrelevant, laziness as well, all of these things. And you have to realize that most emotions only drive you a little bit. But that one emotion, always, when you have it, it always drives you the most. It puts you in motion instantly. You just instantly want to do something to get rid of that emotion or whatever it is. Because if it's a good emotion, is to prolong it. That's the main difference between being motivated by good emotions as opposed to bad emotions. When you are motivated by good emotions, you actually are taking action not to stop that emotion, but to actually prolong, extend the life of that emotion, whether it's fulfillment or meaningfulness or happiness or joy or excitement, whatever it is, you just want to feel more of that. And that's why you do things. But on the opposite side, when you are driven by bad emotions, you are basically trying to stop feeling that emotion. Whatever it is, anger, frustration, whatever it is, you think by taking action, you will stop that emotion. But once that emotion is gone, you will probably not be motivated to do anything. In both scenarios, you have to realize that you have to be driven by all emotions. I know that sounds preposterous, but once you realize that you can make all emotions into fuel, everything that you feel, even if you feel nothing, even if you feel boredom, even if you feel anger or frustration or happiness or depression, whatever it is, you can find a way to make that into your fuel. But it always starts with understanding what emotion drives you and what's the mechanism that that emotion puts you in motion, that puts you to work. Once you understand that mechanism, it's much easier to see that you can have other emotions that drive you and how they drive you. But it's easier to just start with the biggest one, with the one that actually puts you the fastest into motion. And then notice that other emotions also really have a good effect on you. And slowly but surely, you can move from bad emotions to better emotions and then good emotions that are driving you. And that's going to be a life changing experience. But you have to first find the emotion that actually drives you.